I'll call them as my name, John Flynn,
Here.
Mary Ellen Glover,
Here.
Robert Markle,
Here.
Carol Fitzgerald,
Here.
Doug Boyd,
Here.
Richard Green. Is anyone else on the call?
I have Eva Wiseman here as well as Pam Courtney.
I see Eva in the background there.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, hello. And Pam, hello.
Now you have a
And
much better
Okay.
picture than looking at me now.
Good afternoon. This open meeting of the Hamden Board of Selectmen is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus, we've been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the Governor's order suspends the requirements of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. For this meeting, the Hamden Board of Selectmen is meeting using Zoom video conferencing as opposed to the town website. Please note that this is being recorded. The first item on our agenda is there any update, Bob, on any other emergency declarations or anything on COVID-19?
The only thing that I learned today was that tomorrow the legislation goes in that would allow the selectmen to move the meeting, move the election. I'm sorry. Apparently it's going to go back 1 month at this point. We don't know what the legislature is going to do. I just know that that was submitted by the governor's office. Otherwise, I think the main matter before us is having to do with the annual meeting.
Okay. And it was my understanding that under Chapter 39, Section 9, the selectmen
Right.
can move that. Okay. So the region is looking at June 22nd. If we did that, then that means our town election will probably be June 29th. Do we want to pick a date sooner than that?
Excuse me, Don. I did have another conversation with the town administrator from Wilbraham. They're looking at the 15th.
15th, okay.
And one of the arguments for that is that this would allow the financial people time to set up the accounting system and so forth for July 1.
Mhm. Okay. Does anyone have a problem with that date? And that would put our election, I guess.
If we do both town meetings on the same date, will that preclude the region from coming to one of them?
They've split up in the past.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a
But they-
problem for the district.
Okay.
Actually, they were scheduled on the same day in May. I
Yeah.
don't know how that works out. Yeah.
This is originally Saturday.
This year? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember that.
Their elections are normally Saturdays, and town meetings are not.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So just for Eva's clarity here, you're talking, Don, about the town meeting on what date?
well, they want the 15th,
Mm-hmm.
and so the election would be the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work for signatures and everything?
We've already got all the paperwork out, so signatures is just going to extend that time frame for them to return their nomination papers. So that's actually a good thing for the candidates.
And then the caucuses, you work out the dates for that?
I will contact them when I leave here.
Okay. I don't think anyone, I know Jim and I are not eager about having the caucus at the same scheduled time because it's well within nobody wants to be touching machines and things like that. So they're looking for a delay on that as well.
All right.
Makes
Is there
sense.
a motion for the date?
I'll make a motion to reschedule the Hamden Town Meeting to the date of June 15th, 7 o'clock in the evening at Thornton Burgess Middle School.
Second.
All in favor?
So before you take that final vote, I don't have a calendar in front of me, but what day of the week is the 15th?
I'm guessing Monday.
Monday.
It's a Monday.
hope it's-
That's a Monday? Okay, good, thank you.
No, I mean, before Doug brings up a point, somebody did talk about, since we have the opportunity to change the date, are we interested in looking at a Saturday? Because it has been mentioned in the past about getting greater participation. We've been limited to Monday because that's in our bylaw. Is this an opportunity for us to get a sense of, well, maybe a Saturday would be a better thing? What's the board's thought?
Well-
I'm for tradition on this one, Monday, but Mary Ellen?
I think I would be for tradition only in that too many changes may be confusing
Mhm.
and unnecessary at this time. Just to get a sense of the waters, you know. I mean, I think that we can do that at another time if we decide would give us a better turnout.
Well, the comment in the past has always been that the younger people with children aren't able to come to the nighttime meeting. Obviously with the school, which I think is obviously going to be closed for the rest of the year, a lot of people are saying maybe that's not a concern. But the only reason we would consider a Saturday is, again, the people who might have difficulty participating on a weeknight. And it has been a question.
Yeah, and I know part of the reason that Saturdays were avoided in the past was that it was also a day of activities.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
people with family schedules and kid schedules and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure, given all of the urgency that we have with this, that any of those previous criteria really matter. I think the number one criteria is what does the town need and what's best for the
Mhm.
town. And if that means doing it on the Monday night or on the Saturday, I'm fine with either.
Mhm. Yeah. I think you go back to
Yeah,
your.
I would agree, and I guess at this point, we're so far out, you know, we'd make an assumption only about that June is, you know, we got to do it in June. A Monday or Saturday at this point doesn't really buy us anything other than it's just change, because, you know, we're not talking about the difference between May and June, we're talking about the difference between a couple of days. And I don't think that gets us anything. I would lean toward keeping Monday just because that's what folks expect, and I think, you know, it would be just another disruption and point of confusion.
You don't actually have to vote on the date at this time.
We don't?
It's not on the date itself. You can vote on that another time. It's just a decision to do it.
Oh,
I did believe
a decision to delay is
But-
all that's required? Okay.
that's, yeah, and then you can.
But it might be easier to vote on the date and
makes sense to
and the
me.
day because it's cleaner, it's done, and people have a
I
lot
agree.
of forewarning.
Well, I
And
agree
would-
with that, but I mean, if we're trying to make a, you know, keeping, I think what we've been doing with videotaping the meetings and showing them, that might give people a chance to see more of the discussion in the context of the date we picked. I think we're all in the idea that the 15th is a good date.
Yep.
But again, I like the idea of, you know, what we've been doing with the YouTube videos, I think really gives people a sense of what goes on. And maybe there's some, if we pause the date part till then, just for consideration.
Right, and the district needs a specific date in order to back up their 45 days so that they know when they have to close their budget.
I think we should just stick with June 15th and vote it that way.
Okay. If you need to change it, we can do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, I think we voted the motion and we're done already with that part. What was the second thing?
The election. Bob,
the election.
we-
But that's just.
Oh, have you voted?
Right.
Excuse me, did you vote that motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We didn't vote it by a roll call, did we?
I said yes, John.
Yes.
No, I got a second from you, Mary Ellen.
I know I
And then we
seconded
voted.
it, but did we do a vote?
Yeah.
And I interrupted you.
Oh, Doug.
John, yes.
Mary
Donald,
Ellen,
yes.
Fine.
Okay.
And now you've got a roll call.
Maybe putting this on YouTube isn't a good idea. So Eva, any thoughts about the election part?
I think that keeping it a week after, like we normally have, is just, it makes sense.
Backward tradition,
Yeah.
fine.
Easy
Yep.
to
Yeah,
let everybody know.
people
Yeah.
can follow that more easily.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Oh,
And And that authority has been, or that's the bill that's going to the next,
It's already been passed.
okay,
It grants the
for
authority
the
to move the
election, for the
election.
elections as well.
Right, by
Okay.
vote of well, in this case, the selectmen.
Right. We have a motion for that?
Make a motion to
moved.
change,
Go
the
ahead.
day of the town election to June 22nd from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Hamden Town Hall, 625 Main Street, Hamden.
Second.
All in favor?
John, aye.
Aye, Mary Ellen.
I believe that the new rule requires a roll call.
Okay.
John, aye.
John,
Still aye.
Ursula Glover,
Mary Ellen, aye.
Donald Davenport, aye.
Hey, hey.
Hey, the moderator's here.
Oh, okay.
Wanna
Is,
be on camera?
uh,
Nope.
If I know what I was over there.
So Dale, we've taken, let me just bring up the speed down. So we've taken a formal vote to move the town meeting to the 15th of June, which is the same date as Wilbraham. And the town election will follow 1 week after, as in tradition.
Great.
So, Don, your thoughts about then closing, just pretty much backing the dates up like they would be, like a month before, and then let the advisory schedule their hearings, et cetera?
yes, the same, yeah, we just do this, I think we do the same as outlined in the charter. In the bylaws.
Mhm. Well, I don't think it's in bylaws per se. I think there's about the posting of the warrant. There's a thing, you know,
There's
1 week,
two
stuff
weeks
like
or
that.
1 week
Yeah,
for
yeah.
annual.
You know, and then the advisory has to have the hearing so many days before and all that.
Yeah, our dates for advisory are keyed to the town meeting date, so as long as we
Right.
have that date, we can back off of it.
But I meant more
Our
like, when,
deadlines
do
are.
you want to extend the closing of the warrant, Don, or just still put it to April? Let's not give a chance to really, I don't want to say fatten it up, but look, if they had a thought for a warrant article right now, there's nothing new really coming along in the next couple of months.
I
Actually,
think
there are
we
two.
keep-
John, the
I
only
think
thing
we
I would
keep it-
suggest
Mhm.
is, I'm sorry, this is Carol.
But
You may want to give yourself as much time to leave the warrant open in case there's anything COVID-19 related that you that needs to come before the town. It gives you a little bit more flexibility to add that for an effective date of July 1st if something happens. We just don't know kind of what those things might be. That would be my suggestion, is to provide you with enough flexibility to manage anything that's kind of unusual.
I don't know about expenditures, but there might be a requirement to accept something from the state. In terms of like their, if they do anything capital wise, we might require a motion for that.
But there could be an expenditure that we're just not
Exactly.
even thinking of at this point.
Sure.
You know, emergency
Definitely need
management
more-
related or
definitely need
something.
more sanitizer.
Oh, yeah.
You could close it subject to
Right.
any
I was
COVID.
just-
Well, we've
Say,
opened in the past as well.
Place
So,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Hey, this is Paul Gagoducci talking. Can I also suggest that we keep the warrant as minimal as possible and only do what's important, knowing that we probably will have a fall meeting?
That's a good point.
yes.
Okay.
That,
Again, this doesn't need to be discussed now. If we want to keep this discussion on more of a video footage, Don, you know, during a regular YouTube discussion, because this isn't critical to our meeting today. It was just a thought for discussion for later.
okay. All right,
I did
anything
have a
else?
discussion with Judge Howard, and the planning board would like both the solar moratorium article and the marijuana article removed.
There's no marijuana article.
Okay.
All right, I had a conversation with Howard. There is no marijuana
Yeah.
article.
The
There is a-
marijuana
No
was
marijuana
big
article.
mistake. That
Right.
was,
That's,
yeah,
I think it was just a,
I don't think it's
we
wise.
don't know who was.
It was a typo. It was a typo. It was on someone
Yeah.
else's mind when that
Right,
memo
but
was
the solar
released, that
one, yeah.
little email was
Well,
released.
I don't know. I
I
mean,
think the
now that,
solar shouldn't be dropped, however.
right, because now that you have more time to schedule that public hearing, Rick, there's really no need to drop that. You know, the question before was you weren't going to have enough time for the public hearing.
Yeah, so you can bring it.
So I think that's still, as a placeholder, there's no gun to our head to get it taken off. Since now we have the extra, you could have that public hearing in May and have plenty of time for the warrant, right?
Agreed.
And all that really was to do was to clean up the
Sure.
bylaws.
Right.
All it is to remove what currently is part of the bylaws that is no longer effective.
Mhm.
But by the AGO's suggestion, they felt that it should go through town meeting to take it from the bylaws so that it's not, no one
Sure.
tries to play on it.
It's like removing your appendix.
Thank you.
Just like it.
Thank you. If you heard that, it's like removing the appendix, Don, so that's why it's in there.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you meant the body part
Okay.
or the book part.
It's the body.
The body part he meant, okay, yeah.
All right.
So what was-
Anything else? Anything
I'm
else to
good.
come before us?
I have a
I'm good.
question.
Mhm.
Yeah,
On Monday, this coming Monday, do we have a regular select board meeting?
I think we should.
All right.
I would agree.
I'm good
Well,
with
we
that.
have the agenda from last week,
Mhm.
and there may be some other articles as well. Okay.
All right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you all.
Now you're
All
right.
right. Hey,
We
thanks,
all
everybody.
Just like that.
all right.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye, thanks.
Cool.
I thought it was first.